Hey everybody, Shawn Andrich here from GamersWithJobs.com, and I'm joined for the first time ever in a Let's Play video by my good friend, Mr. Julian Murdoch.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to perhaps the most boring Let's Play video ever created in the history of mankind.
No, I love this game. This is The Hunter.
It is. This is The Hunter. Now, The Hunter's actually been out for, gosh, it feels like 2-3 years now. It's been out for quite a while, and it's a free-to-play game where you can buy season pass to unlock different guns and different game you can hunt. But fundamentally, The Hunter is a game where you hunt deer, turkeys, different kinds of deer, black bears, hogs. Apparently, you can hunt foxes now.
Wild boar, bears, big bears,
yeah.
Elk, moose,
meese.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that meese?
And just like real-world hunting, it's not easy.
No, it requires a lot of patience. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go on a hunt. And so we're not necessarily going to record the entire thing, but we're going to take a stroll through the woods here and get rolling. So Julian, what are we doing here? Where are we going?
So we're currently in a little lodge, and you can see on, I'm sure, your little screen, you have a little PDA called a Hunter Mate. And that's really the key here, because the Hunter Mate is what lets you track things. Like in the real world, you would actually be able to see like the actual tracks of a deer on the ground. But obviously, even with our fancy high-resolution screens and the amazing graphics this game has, which are right up there with, you know, some of the best stuff we've seen out of like the Far Cry series. I mean, really some phenomenal vistas. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't really be able to track like and just automatically notice, ooh, there's a track on the ground. So this little Hunter Mate is going to signal us when we get something worth tracking. And we're in a little base lodge now. Do you want to go shoot your gun once or twice before we go?
I know how to shoot a gun. I've shot a gun before.
So we're going to go just walk off into the woods here with our little Hunter Mates out. And we can run to sort of get away from base camp, because there tends not to be a lot of animals hanging right around base camp. There are a lot of different places you can go hunt. That's all sort of loosely based on parts of the Pacific Northwest, but they do vary up the terrain quite a bit. We're in a sort of a generic Pacific Northwest coastal region with a hunting lodge, and we'll be out looking for probably turkeys, maybe wild boar, maybe deer. If we're lucky, we might get a moose. And moose.
What about cougars? Are there any cougars out here?
Like, do you mean like the derogatory term for older sexy women?
I would never use that term for older sexy women. I mean the actual cougars who could kill you.
No, because I don't think... Maybe there are cougars in the Pacific Northwest, but...
None here. So is there anything dangerous? I know there's black bears. Like, is there any chance of being attacked by anything?
I believe that you can be attacked by black bear, but I think like real-world black bear... Oh, wait. Did you see that?
Nope. I had my shotgun out. I was doing just like I would in a real hunt. I was just looking at my guns. Point of fact, I cannot pull the trigger. I really want to. I can't do it. You can hear me hitting the mouse. Won't let me do it. I can't do it.
So off to the northeast, you may have been able to hear it. There was a call from a deer, and our little Hunter Mate showed us on our little screen, which Shawn missed. That it's this direction. So we're now going to head off. We're going to stop running. We're going to start walking.
Okay.
And we're going to head off.
Crap, which button is the Hunter Mate again? 6? No, that's turkey collar. Oh, it's tab. Fair enough. There we go. What is this? Apparently, okay, I have binoculars. That's good. Apparently I have some sort of, looks like some sort of mace. Like, is this for if the bears attack? Or is...
No, that's probably not mace. It's probably a scent hider, or possibly something like elk urine.
Oh, no, it's a wind indicator, apparently.
Yeah, you can throw that up, because you want it, like the real world, if you are upwind of the animal and they can smell you, that's bad.
Oh, right, of course. I always worry about that, my city job.
Okay, so we're now coming up over this hill.
You know, it's worth noting that The Hunter was a single-player game for a long time. They only put in multiplayer this summer, which sort of snuck by us. So this is our first time actually trying the multiplayer.
Yeah, I've done some multiplayer before, and it's interesting because we can do what we're doing right now, which is just sort of, you know, same world, same hunt, you know, spotting things for each other. Just did you hear that?
Yeah.
So now if you hit the button on your hunter mate, you'll see that you're tracking a white-tailed deer.
State Roman. So
And
we're looking for
you'll see a little ping on your screen.
Little ping on my screen. Okay.
On the hunter mate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see little circles there. Yep.
So it's down there by the coast. So we're gonna sort of noodle our way up the top of this hill slowly. And when we get a little bit of visibility towards the coast, we might pop out our binoculars and take a little look. I don't know why I'm whispering. This is what this game does to me.
It does. It does kind of put you in the mindset. And what's really striking to me is just that there was a point before free-to-play games, before Facebook games or mobile games or Candy Crunch or all these games we like to make fun of, the real Walmart basement, bottom dwelling, bargain basement game was hunting games. There's just tons and tons of hunting games everywhere. And as kind of hardcore gamers, that was always kind of like a point of derision, like, oh, they're so lame, they look so bad, they're so rudimentary, they're so dumb. And for the most part, that's true. Like, they were really, really bad. But like, The Hunter's the first hunting game I took a serious look at and also just took a really serious liking to.
Okay, did you hear that one?
Yep, I got that one. So we must be actually fairly close to this one then.
Yeah, and they spook easy, so I crouched down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep looking down towards where we saw that and see if I can spot it. Yeah, and one of the interesting things is this game actually has a little bit of like a RPG mechanic where certain things that you do a lot, you get better at. So if you use one gun a lot, you get more accurate with it. If you hunt a lot of one kind of animal a lot, you get better at tracking it. And if you spot the actual act of pulling up the binoculars and trying to find one of these little freaking dudes out in the leaves, which can be pretty tough, you actually get better at spotting things too. So the more you play the game, not only the better do you get for your own skill and having some sense of where animals run and all that kind of thing, but your sort of in-game dude levels up as well.
Nice. This feels like Star Trek hunting. Like I feel like we're hunting with a tricorder. We're just kind of walking around.
Totally.
Which is good. I mean, because real hunting, my business partner hunts, and he'll go out for 3 days, just sitting in a tree stand for 3 days, and I'll say, "So how'd it go?" "Oh, it rained, and for a couple of days, never really saw anything. Yeah, wasn't very good." I'm like, "Oh, it sucks." He's like, "Yeah, we saw some deer like driving out, but that was about it." I'm like, I hope it's a great meditation because it sounds incredibly boring otherwise.
Well, it's an excuse to take a long walk in the woods, right? And long walks in the woods can be pretty nice, just taking a walk in the woods. And I guess if you're hauling a gun around, it gives you something to think about.
Mortality.
So this guy's down here somewhere, and I've played this game enough to know he could be like right behind the tree, right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't know.
Do you have a deer call? Is this like a good time to do a deer, like a mating call or something?
Sure.
'Cause I actually don't have a deer call. The deer call, you just tilt a can. It's so funny.
Yeah, we can see it worked.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's moved a little bit north for us.
Oh, I see him.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. He's right on the coast.
So now you have to make this horrible set of tactical decisions about take the wicked long shot, sneak up.
He's a little baby. That's Bambi right there. Looks delicious.
So we could get real picky, or we could go for it.
No, I mean, if you feel like you've got... Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back toward us. I'm getting excited now. I'm going to the bush.
Do you have him in your binoculars?
Yeah, I see him. Is there a button to spot or something like that?
Eventually, if you just keep him centered,
yeah,
it will it just rendered for me as white-tailed deer, gender female.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
know. The better you
that.
get at spotting, you'll actually eventually, if you keep him in the center.
There he goes. Yeah, he kind of outlines red.
The better you get at spotting, the better you get at spotting, the more likely you'll actually get information like how many points a buck has.
Sure. So how close do you figure it? Is there a rangefinder, or do you have to basically eyeball it?
There are more expensive weapons that you can buy that have, or scopes that have rangefinders on them.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest we call her again.
No, she's still walking toward me. Yeah, I see the little thing indicating what. She's shaking her head. She's pretty excited. Man, I got my gun out. I don't know. Is there a whole button to hold your breath?
Yep, space bar.
Okay. I don't know if I'll take the shot yet, but man,
I'm gonna move down around to the side here.
I do have a good shot, but I just don't know if it's too far away.
That's pretty far.
But I can see its chest, like it's walking directly toward me. This could be the fastest hunt. Like I did play this game, a year or two ago. It's just been a while, but if this deer comes into my sight and I take it down, this is going to be the fastest hunt on record for me.
For sure. Now I'm trying to get around to the side here a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I can see your name. Oh yeah, there you are.
Is she still focused on you?
I can't see her. She's just below that hill at this point. You made me hesitate. Now I don't know where she went.
I don't want to spook her.
No, I haven't seen her run, but if a deer runs, it's gone very quickly. It's like
you can
gone in 60 seconds. It's like the Nicolas Cage of the animal kingdom.
She's coming up over the hill. I'm gonna
try and hold your shot.
I have an amazing shot, but I'm gonna let you take it.
Oh really? Wow. This is just like if we were actually hunting in real life. This is exactly what would be happening right now. You'd be bragging about how great you are. You'd be magnanimous, letting me do it.
Still walking towards you, right?
I don't see it anymore. I moved.
She seems to be coming right up the hill.
I don't see her. Where is she?
Pretty much between me and you. Yep, she's just to your right.
Oh shit, she's literally right on top of me. Boom! I'm the greatest hunter who ever lived.
All right, so now if you come over, you'll see that she's highlighted red, right? Because that's a tracking sign, and that's how you track things out there. Like if you just tagged her, that was a good clean shot.
Yeah.
Now you have to tag her with your hunter mate, and you'll get a little post-hunt information screen.
Right. Distance 9.7 meters. Hits body, liver, and intestine. That seems decent. Not heart, though. I was kind of hoping for that heart shot. I get no score. CSS 0.
Yeah, because you shot a female.
Yeah. Within about 9 meters of me. To be fair, I did it for science. I don't take responsibility for that. Everybody heard it. This is recorded. You told me to. No wonder you wanted me to take it. You just set me up as a patsy.
Yeah. Well, now the game interestingly has all sorts of fair chase, I guess it's called. I'm not a hunter, if it's not clear. I live in the woods, but I'm not a hunter. It has all of this sort of fair chase mechanic built into it, which is, you get points for shooting sort of ethically. Like once you shoot an animal, you have to go tag it, like you just did, in order to get points for it to add it to your little hunter score and all that.
Right. Yeah.
You lose points, and they yell at you, and they actually send you nasty emails if you sort of wound an animal and let it run away, which is, that would be a really bad thing. Mm-hmm. It only lets you shoot at animals with weapons that are appropriate, so you can't go after a moose with a handgun.
That makes
sense. Or a bow.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's sort of an interesting little thing because I'm not a hunter. This game intrigues me because it does sort of get you tuned a little bit to that idea of what it is to be a hunter and being quiet in the woods and looking for signs and listening actively and that's all really cool. Yeah. But it hasn't made me desire to go buy a shotgun.
No, me neither. And that's kind of the trick. It's like my little brother does a little bit of hunting just once a year with his father-in-law, and he does enjoy it, and it's they eat what they kill. I mean, morally speaking, I feel like if you're going to hunt, and if you're hunting for the sake of you're actually going to eat it, you're going to kind of make full use of that. Like I really feel like that's an okay thing to do, provided it's legal and it's not an endangered species or something like that.
Right. And I have I grow. I'm sure like you, I grew up in the country surrounded by people who hunt all the time, and I love me some venison sausage. It's not like I have no moral compunctions about that part of it. I just don't have all that much interest in going out there with the gun.
Yeah, and actually pulling the trigger, and that's just one of the many, many hypocrisies in human existence. Yeah.
So this is one of the cool things, sort of, well, aside from the fact this is a really beautiful place lovely, here with all this Indian paintbrush and everything. One of the things that I got really intrigued by when I first started playing this game a couple years ago was I'd come to some meadow like this, and this doesn't look that dissimilar to a big meadow sort of in the woods near my house, right? I mean, all these trees and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And what I discovered was that if I sat here and pulled out my binoculars and was sort of still for a little bit and really looked, quite a lot of the time you would see, a deer off on the edge of the clearing, or a hog running through the woods, or a turkey or a fox or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you would never have noticed before. And so I got this sort of habit in the game of sort of stopping every once in a while and just being calm and really actively looking and looking for movement. And I started doing this in my, I live in the woods, and I go for a 5 or 7 mile run or hike every day with the dogs. And my dogs tend to be very quiet, which is nice. And so I got into this habit of trying to do this when I was out on these walks, just out in the woods. And I actually found, much to my surprise, I started seeing bears and deer and turkey where I'd never seen anything before.
So the hunter gives you superpowers then, is basically what I'm taking.
It just taught me to stop and look.
Yeah. Well, which is true. And like I've, if you've ever played paintball, especially outside in like a big field like this, like where there's lots of nature and stuff, some of the most successful players are not the ones who are running around like idiots looking for targets. They're just sitting in a bush for 20 minutes and waiting for someone to walk by and picking them off. That's what my brother did to me one year. It was it's fantastic because I was the idiot running around. So, I mean, the hunter does teach you a sort of patience. It's kind of patience you take on playing a stealth game. Like
it is a little bit like playing a stealth game. The stuff here is a lot spookier in the sense that it spooks faster than almost anything ever been in any ever.
It's not there are no different
ghosts.
Take on spooky.
No zombies, no ghosts. The stuff here spooks real darn fast.
Yeah.
And it does have those, the tropes of hunting, right? There are certain places you can go hunt that have tree stands, and you can go up in them and sit there for 2 hours and bring out your moose call and sort of wait for things to come to you. And there's a certain thrill to that too.
Sure.
That was about the fastest hunt ever.
I don't want you to get a false impression of this game. The fact that we came across a deer within 5 minutes and it walked straight at me, even though if I was playing single player,
we called. To be fair, I had the right kind of call for that kind of deer,
that
and I called
too.
it.
Yeah, that helps too. And to be fair, if I was playing single player and we weren't recording this, I wouldn't have killed it. Because I would have looked and said, "Yeah, it's a female. It's young. It's well, not only is it too easy, it's just it doesn't. As far as it's obviously I'm not going to eat the virtual sausage. It just doesn't feel right. It's just not the right. Oh, we got some kind of something here.
Yep,
mule deer
this way.
Mule deer are kind of the mutts of the deer kingdom.
Yeah, they're what you get to hunt for free.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is despite this fact this feels pretty expansive, these are fairly confined areas.
Yeah.
You can run across the whole map in 10 minutes if you just ran straight.
Sure.
And if you sort of just take a pot shot at like a female deer, like we just did to prove a point, you've definitely scared anything within half a mile of you away.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times you'll find a deer like that, and you'll be looking for the big buck that might be traveling.
Exactly. Like I've seen herds. There are herds. Like you will sometimes find multiple deer in one area. Like you'll see 5, 6, 7, 8 deer all there, and that tends to be a buck nearby at that point too. And I think you were kind of mentioning it before. The idea of multiplayer is a new component. You can play up to like 8 players, I think. You can play a pretty big multiplayer game.
And the maps are the same size. They're the same maps. So 8 players on one of these maps means you're either walking around next to somebody and like we were sort of saying who's got the shot and communicating about it, or you're effectively chasing everything in front of everybody else.
Yeah, you're like you send Timmy, the new guy, out to the other side of the map and just have him run toward you screaming basically, and just it's the hunter equivalent of like having a floodlight or something.
Exactly.
Whoops.
So there should be something over
actually,
here.
I'll just bring up the map real quick. I can show that this is the trail we've walked so far. You can kind of see the road, see the rest of the map. It shows you just kind of like where the main road is and stuff like that. It looks like you can draw on the map. What if I just do I can just do a little circle on the map. That's nice.
Doesn't show up for me. I don't think you can ping things necessarily.
No, if you bring up your map, do you see a circle I just drew?
Let me see.
It does show me that.
I do indeed.
Oh, look at that. And it does show me that you are in the map mode too. So it's,
right.
The game is telling you what you're doing.
On those maps, you see those little exclamation points. Those are sort of either they're basically landmarks of things that are really interesting. I know because I played on this map before. Like that one over to the right is this really intricately rendered gully system, which is just beautiful with waterfalls and things like that.
Yeah, I got to think that in a certain Zen Garden way, building this map would have been pretty nice.
And exploring them is. I mean,
yeah.
I've really enjoyed, like, even when I don't find anything, just sort of really intricately exploring these worlds. If you've got a great graphics card and crank everything up, is pretty kind of. I find it sort of relaxing, and I've definitely spent plenty of time wandering around for an hour and not really seeing anything, or maybe just sort of tracking something for a while. And
sure, like this one here, we can see the direction the prints go. We can see how, like, the red dots on my finder indicate how fresh the trail is. Lets us kind of know what species it is. So we get some information just based on that trail, and that at least gives us a direction to go.
Yeah, and you have to use again, the more you play, the more you'll sort of get a sense of it. Like, here's a good example. Like if you look over here down to the right, you right behind me? You're right behind me. Down to the right, you'll see that sort of the glowy part. That's the trail we're on. And then there's a new trail up here, and we can look down and say, okay, well, that's another deer, because you can see the tracks on the ground. So we'll stay following the same deer.
Yeah, it's got a little cone on my map indicating the trajectory.
Yep. And so now we know that there are at least 2 deer traveling together. That's a good sign.
It sure is, Julian. I've been tracking these woods for a good 10 years now. And
good 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it really gets into your bones. You really start to feel one with the forest.
There was a pheasant behind us. I don't know whether you caught that.
Pheasant. I'm too busy. I'm fixated on these deer. I love the fact there's foxes now. There's been a lot of animals added since I played last. So a fox, to me, seems like that's like little golden bugs in Dark Souls, like really hard to find and really hard to kill.
Yeah, I haven't killed or found. I haven't even seen a fox. I hear they're quite difficult. It's interesting. I've talked to the developers of this game before for a magazine article back when there were magazines.
Before you killed them all,
Before I killed all the magazines, and they're really hyper focused on making the experience as realistic as possible. So they actually have like biologists helping them figure out the correct pathing through the woods of, like, well, would this kind of animal go up a steep hillside or would they go around to the side? And if you follow the forums at all, the impression I get is that they've kind of nailed it. But again, not being a hunter, I can't really say, like, yes, that's exactly what it's like when I hunt red fox back home.
I'm making a big no-no. I'm just sprinting down the hill. Hold on. Let's see. Checking these one. Okay.
Yeah, so it's leading me on this sort of primrose path here.
This path, this trail, you can see the little X's on my hunter mate, and it's starting to tell a story about what direction these things are going. Okay, I'm actually gonna kind of be up the hill a little bit off of you, so I'll keep some height. Yeah, I'm noticing getting graphically, like, I've got everything cranked up to full, and it runs great. I do have a pretty hefty machine. I'm running an HD 7970 video card, which is I think it's the highest end Radeon card there is right now, short of like one of those crazy 2-card systems. And it runs pretty well. I'm noticing there's a little bit of grid off in the distance. They do a little bit of scaling here and there, but it's lighting and everything. It's really quite nice. I've played the Hunter. There's one time I played it for an hour, and I never saw anything, and I felt perfectly satisfied by the experience.
Oh yeah, I've had plenty of days like that. I get some popping. It does scale really well. I will admit that once you scale it down too much, like to play it on a laptop, it's pretty unsatisfying.
Yeah, there is like the splendor of it is really, I think it's an important part of the experience. Yeah, I am still not seeing, and the lighting too, like the lighting down in the valley versus the lighting up here kind of under the trees is different, like it's quite nice. And it's free. Like if you don't want to pay anything, just go ahead, hunt mule deer. It's great.
Yeah, we should talk a little bit about what you pay for, right? So when you pay, there's sort of two ways to pay. One is you can sort of become a member. And when you become a member, they unlock all the territory that you can hunt in. And then they unlock all of the things you could possibly hunt. You need sort of certain licenses. And they've sort of wrestled around with a couple different free-to-play type models. I think at this point you can pretty much either get the membership or really specifically buy licenses for what you want. So you can buy, say, just a turkey license for one day, and that'll cost you 45 cents of in-game fake money or something like that.
Yeah.
Then when you get a membership, you get a certain number of weapons. Playing around with the different weapons and getting used to them is, definitely a big piece of the game that's kind of fun. And there's little ranges you can go to. You can go skeet shooting and target shooting and all that. So you can kind of tailor how you want to play. I've really only ever paid to be a member sort of for a 3-month block at a time, and then I'll let the game go for a while, and then I'll come back for 3 months and see what they've added. And that's been perfectly satisfying, but you can also just buy things permanently, right? You can buy a weapon that you then have forever, regardless of what area you're in or what you're hunting.
Mm-hmm. So this is a more true to life, the hunter experience.
The wandering around in the woods, not seeing anything.
Yeah, I'm getting mission notifications.
Missions? Oh, you haven't played in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They kind of give you missions, little things you can kind of look for. Like I had a pheasant call pop up, but that's not really what I want to hunt right now. But, they do give you little missions like direction, goals to hit. And you launch the game from a website. And the website tracks all of your stats, your longest shot. It tracks a lot of stuff. Like, see, I've got a pretty good view distance on you here, too, just walking through the...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we scared off whatever deer we were hunting here while just sort of clomping around.
Yeah, well, I'm still walking at a normal speed, but yeah, I haven't seen any... I definitely lost that trail. I haven't seen any more trail hits.
Yeah, so they ran off somewhere. But down here in these valleys is often where you find the elusive wild boar. I feel like I should be narrating Wild Kingdom.
Yeah.
The elusive wild boar of the Elkhart estate.
I just, I feel like there's a missed opportunity here. Like at some point,
you want to shoot me, don't you?
I just the deadliest game. Like it just makes so much sense. And it's not even that. Like what I really want is just Halloween night. Anybody's playing the hunter, even if it's daytime, all of a sudden day changes to night, and all of a sudden off in the woods you hear a chainsaw. Like I just want it to suddenly turn, like this could turn into a horror game so quickly, and it would be so true to, like, it's so mundane, and horror is just it's a perversion of the mundane. It's a breach of the contract of mankind. So like the idea of like having played this for 40 hours and then all of a sudden just having it turn on its ear without any foreknowledge would be
so what you're saying is you really want the guys who are making this engine and this sort of exquisitely detailed world to merge with the guys who are making DayZ.
Yeah. See, oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah, this is what I want DayZ to be.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways. And it's DayZ's close. It doesn't have, the freaking Indian paintbrush doesn't look like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether you've noticed, but they're like little mice that run around on the ground. The sound design, like you move from area to area and you hear different kinds of birds, and it's really quite peaceful and elaborate.
Yeah.
The weather patterns are phenomenal. Like it'll go. We haven't hit it yet because I picked a sunny day to set the weather for. But if you sort of pick mixed, it's the Pacific Northwest, so you get these amazing rainstorms, which are tactically super important because obviously under the cover of rain, you can get away with murder as far as clomping through the woods. And you tend to be a lot better at maneuvering through the rain than the animals can detect you.
Man, when I look at these flowers real close, like they're clearly just a wobbly texture. It feels like I'm on drugs. It's kind of trippy actually. I can't look at that. I keep getting pheasant calls, so I'm gonna track some pheasant here.
Yeah, make sure when you get there you should
new trail found. Mule deer, roaming. It's kind of old though. Ooh, but it is going in that direction. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, I got pheasant down here now. So now we see this is the other kind of multiplayer experience, which is sort of same island, same day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. See, I'm getting a really nice view of the surrounding water, of the hills. I think that this is, like, if I had to make, like, a top 5 games that I would want immediately ported to the Oculus Rift.
Oh, my gosh.
This might be number 1. Like this might be the perfect, like, especially just in the sense it doesn't require Twitch. Like, you can kind of, let's see, what we got. Pheasant poop. Okay, well, that's something. Boy, there's a lot of pheasant poop here.
Yeah, where's your pheasant poop in GTA 5? Tell me that.
You know what? I haven't been into the hills in GTA 5. It's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah, see, I've got mule deer. I've got tons of pheasant markings. I got tons of deer marking. But the deer marking trails are pretty old. Like, there's tons of trails that are crossing each other here, actually. So this hilltop is
what was
very
the AAA
popular.
game that came out recently that featured hunting? Was it Far Cry?
Yeah, Far Cry 3. You could hunt and like skin animals, and I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was hunting per se. It was just more like really mobile enemies,
Yeah, I was about to say I remember like finding a pack of dogs, and they just sort of stood around until I decided to shoot them.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got some pheasants over here. I may take a shot at them.
Oh, do you actually see them?
No, but I've just got to be real close.
Okay. Might be able to get a nice distant shot of you taking a shot from up here on the hill.
Yeah, most likely you'll get a distant shot of me swearing as I miss.
Yeah, well,
pheasants.
it's very realistic. You can't overstate that.
Shooting birds is really darn hard, it turns out.
Yeah.
Unless you like sneak up on a turkey who's just dumb enough to stand around,
Yeah.
which does happen because turkeys are pretty darn dumb.
Yeah. Man, you know what I can't do hunting that I can do at home hunting? When I'm at home, I can have a Pisco Sour while I'm playing a video game. I think that's
Nice.
not something... I'm dry. I'm warm. My legs aren't tired.
There are no ticks.
No ticks.
Hopefully no ticks.
No ticks, generally speaking. Let's see here. Oh, see, we've got more deer tracks. I rediscovered. See, it'll tell you when you've rediscovered a trail, which is a little gamey. Get it?
Coyote.
It's a little gamey, so to speak, when they tell you you've rediscovered a trail. Like, how would I know? But
I'm apparently sitting on top of a coyote.
what? They have coyote in this game too?
Yeah.
Oh my god, coyotes scare the shit out of me.
They're a little scary here too because they will charge you.
Oh, see, that's what I like. So you can't. I assume you can't.
But they don't. I've never been killed by one.
See, that's a missed opportunity right there. Like, I remember at some point when hunting games, there was just such a major proliferation of hunting games. Eventually there was like Extreme Cabela's Hunting or something like that. And you'd like you'd be basically hunting like all these dangerous wild animals that would attack you. And, they tried to make it like Call of Duty hunting more or less. Man, so many trails up here. What's this? Hey, pheasant marks.
There's a coyote down here.
Ooh, really?
I scared him away. Ugh. He's still accessible.
Okay, let me see if I can tromp over there, or at least close to you. I'm like 180 meters away, so I should be... Oh boy, there's a big freaking drop here, though. Don't think I can get over to you easily. God, this game's gorgeous. So, well, here's the hills. Where are we at? Now, it's probably annoying watching this in a way because I keep on walking, but I'm like slowly panning my view around because I'm looking for movement. Like, it's such an important part of this game. You're not...
Yeah, I spotted this coyote down here. He's about 30 yards in front of me towards the water. There's no way to call coyote, though, so...
You can't just like, oh, yip, yip, yip. Nothing like that. It would be pretty amazing. You just press a button and your hunter just tilts his head back and starts howling. I don't think I'll be able to see him from here, though. Let's have a look.
kind of lost on myself. So
yeah.
But sometimes just spotting stuff is kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And, just the fact that you can, like, I mean, like I'm looking in my view right now, my binoculars down to the water, like all the way, even at the back, you see some of those trees are sort of rendered into almost like still image kind of JPEGs almost. Like I can see you 200 meters away on my screen walking. Like you're behind a tree right now, but it's like, if you can see it with your eye, like on your screen, there's no pop in. If you can see it here, you will see it. Like, so you don't have to worry like, oh, if they're 300 meters away, they won't even pop up onto my screen until I get closer. Like, if you can see it, if there's like some kind of animal there, it will pop up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to oversell that. Like, you have a slightly beefier system than I do. That you definitely don't get popping on animals, and you don't get popping on anything that would block your view normally, like an actual tree or a rock. You do get popping on sort of, I don't know what you would call it, the clutter.
Yeah. No, that of course, yeah. For the stuff that's relevant to gameplay, you don't really tend to get much pop in.
Such as the gameplay is.
Yeah. Well, we're walking, we're shooting stuff, we're spotting things. That's all game. In fact, in a lot of ways, this is, what do we got? Ooh, coyote poop. Old. This must be your coyote.
It's probably my coyote. I'm sort of vaguely walking the direction. See, I saw it, but I'm not actually on its trail.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it run over this hill.
Yeah. See, and what an amazing ecosystem. Like, I mean, if you think about it, if we were to have like a free camera mode and just were able to zoom around as ghosts, like we would see all of these animals, following their AI patterns, doing what they do. Every time you load into this map, they're not going to be in the same place every time. They're not going to behave the same way necessarily, and they're not going to be in the same numbers, So like, more pheasant. Oh, I'm really close to pheasant apparently.
Yeah, and they do definitely. I know this both from my own observation, but also just talking to the developers about how they built the system. Each one of these creatures has its own ecology, right? It has certain areas that it likes, certain areas it avoids. It has certain places, it goes to have water. It has certain trails that it will normally follow. So, once you learn an island reasonably well, you can actually sit here and say, oh, okay, I know there's a game trail that runs this way, and the moose and the deer tend to like it, things like that.
Yeah. Ugh. Like so much pheasant sign, and I don't have anything pheasant related. I don't have a pheasant call, if there is such a thing. I don't have a pheasant gun.
Well, you have a shotgun.
Is that okay for killing pheasant? Will
Yes,
I get an angry email from Bob?
Bird shot for birds.
Okay, Bob. See, I only have buckshot.
Yeah, I may not let you. It may actually not let you pull the trigger.
Wow. See, or I'll get an angry email from Bob the forest guy or whatever his name is,
saying that was a little bit overkill.
Randy.
You have obliterated a pheasant.
Yeah. How much meat left on them bones? It's all buckshot. I call that pre-cooked.
Yeah. The flip side of this, the extension of this game should be that you shoot your amazing buck, and then to sort of commemorate the experience, somebody ships you like 8 pounds of venison.
That'd be the $300 membership.
That would be genius.
Wouldn't that be something, actually? Yeah.
Or even better, you just get like barbecue.
There you go.
Shows up.
Something to really abstract the fact that something was killed and rendered into food.
Exactly. Just have it show up pre-cooked in sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see now we're sort of converging because I heard pheasant too. Now, the thing about pheasants is they're small.
Oh, I see one. There he is. Don't know if I may not shoot him, but I see him. I'm just going to get closer to my
I'm going to come towards you.
It's a male pheasant, and I've just completed my pheasant spot mission. Pretty, very colorful.
Okay, so if you stay still,
yeah,
maybe I can come shoot said pheasant.
Okay, well, I'm looking right at him. You got a ways to go, though. You could probably run for a little bit. Crap, where'd he go?
I just scared him.
You just scared him? You fired at a pheasant. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Did your pheasant spook?
My pheasant's gone, so I'm going to say yes. I don't see any crazed pheasants running toward me yet either.
So half the time that's what happens is you're walking along, you've heard a bird, whether it's a pheasant or turkey or grouse or whatever the heck they are. And you spook them out of the ground, and you have to get your rifle up really fast or your shotgun up really fast, and that's what happens. And most of the time you miss. And it's very satisfying when you actually
I bet
get it right.
I see. Are there any tiny birds? What is this tiny bird? It's not. Oh, that's a pheasant. Okay. The other one must have been. Okay, I'm embarrassed. The other one was a turkey. Clearly, in retrospect, the other one was a turkey. This is a
in
pheasant.
Retrospect.
It's so little.
It's up there for you.
What's that?
It's like I could come get it.
Yeah, totally.
I'll be right there.
I just looked away. Let's see if it's still there. Oh yeah, it's still there. It's just hanging out. Being a pheasant, doing pheasant stuff.
You looking down the hill?
I'm looking. Gosh, is there a compass? Is the hunter made of a compass?
Well, do you see where I am?
Yeah. Just keep coming. Just come up behind me is the trick, and then and it's straight ahead where I'm pointing right now. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I see you.
There he
I
is.
see you.
Yeah, I'm looking right at him, or her. I don't know. It's female. That's good Pisco. Oh, man. Okay, so where are you?
So I'm right here.
Okay, so straight ahead. Just a little down the hill is a small clearing.
Let's see if I can see it before I... Ah, yes, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to... So you can watch my horrible attempt to sneak up on this pheasant.
Okay.
I'm going to crouch.
I believe in you.
It's dark down there, and it's hard to see without binoculars.
That's all right. I got you in my binoculars, and I got the pheasant in my shots. This is going to be really dramatic. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. Everybody's watching right now. Take the shot. Oh, you're going to get closer? How close do you have to be? Can't see anymore. Oh, it's not moving. Oh, you got it. It's dead.
I got it.
That's so funny. You didn't react. You just stood there and then keeled over.
I keeled over?
No, the pheasant keeled over. I lost sight of you for a second. And now I'm watching you run toward the pheasant.
And there's my beautiful pheasant.
See, you should be able to
pick... I feel a little bit bad about.
You should be able to pick that pheasant up and put it on your belt.
Like you just carry it around, its head lolling around.
Yeah. Confirmed kill. Now do you get
30.2 meters. That's pretty far actually to get that. Luckily it was sitting there completely
still.
Completely still.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's a lot bigger up close. Oh, you do pick him up. Okay. Or at least he disappears.
He disappears, and all of the spore and sign and stuff from him vanishes off the map as if he had never existed.
That's nice. All right.
Yeah, because they do respawn. It's not like quite like playing Doom. They don't like just pop up a new pheasant. Like, look, there's a pheasant coming out of a closet.
Pheasant closets,
But over time,
if
you completely denude the island of pheasants, they do slowly repopulate.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. God, you sit here, just play for 12 hours, just obliterating everything, which would actually be really hard because every time you kill one thing, everything else scatters. So you'd be really going for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, in general, my general way of playing this game, if I'm going to play for more than one shot, is, now I'll go run for a little bit and just sort of get far away from where I was.
Somewhere new. Well, there you go. I feel like we've had a nice cross section of the hunter. I feel like if anyone's going to be interested in playing the hunter, this is going to do it. This will put you over the hedge. Because again, I already got it. What's this noise? What did I get? Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't wrap up yet. I just got a noise. See, that's the other thing. You're walking along. It's like gambling in a way. And all of a sudden you get a ping, and you're like, oh, something going on. You get all excited.
And once you get to, if you spend the money and you actually have a big gun, a rifle, and maybe like a bow, which is really fun, trying to get things with a bow, and you're just sort of wandering around, and you're like, oh, I'm done for the night, and then all of a sudden, elk call, and you're like, ooh, an elk, and it just sort of becomes a little bit like Pokemon. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna walk back to town. Oh wait.
Yeah, and that's when you exclaim, an elk, and your wife just kind of rolls her eyes and slumps off to bed without you. She just knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man, it really would be satisfying to be able to punch you, though.
I know, just something.
At least punch you.
Well, it must be nice to have hair for a change. I mean,
oh no, that was low.
Actually, you look kind of like me without a beard. That's a little creepy, actually. Something you want to tell me?
Yes, this is my Certus. This is my Certus thing.
Yeah, that's. I get it. You're very cute.
We're not worthy.
All right. So that's our view of the Hunter. If you want to check it out, it is for the PC only. I don't think they support any other platforms.
Nope.
And it is free to play, so you can just load up, and then if you want to spend a little money, you can unlock different areas to hunt in, different animals, different weapons you can use. And every once in a blue moon, a hunting tournament pops up on gamerswithjobs.com. If you go into our forums there and do a search for the Hunter, you never know when the next one's going to pop up. And they'll say, okay, for the next 5 days, we're having a tournament. So whoever gets the biggest buck, the most points, the longest shot, stuff like that. So there's a big tournament, most weight. And it's actually a pretty fun community experience.
And most of us kick in something and we end up with an Amazon gift certificate or something.
There you go. See, Gamers with Jobs, unlicensed gambling. For all your unlicensed gambling needs, gamerswithjobs.com. So, thanks very much for watching. If you've stuck it out through our Tromp Through the Woods here. Julian, thanks very much for joining me.
It was an absolute pleasure not shooting you in the face.
Thank you very much.